That's crazy. Hold on, family. That's crazy. Okay. Give it a few more minutes. Give my brothers and sisters on YouTube a chance to come into the chat. I thought I was live and I was not. I'm live on my mobile device. I'm not live. Salute, Queen Coco. I see you in the house. Okay, so what I thought I was going to do, looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not sure what is going on with YouTube. I don't know if I've been shadow banned again, which is why my lives aren't working. But I'm just about to go ahead and start, and hopefully people get the information. This is BS. About to get off YouTube. It's like my notifications aren't even going out. What's going on, man? Bush. All right, family. For those who eventually do join, peace to you. For those who are already with me, I appreciate you all giving me a moment of your time. So the question I want to ask the brothers, the leaders of our community, is how long are we going to put football, basketball, baseball, sports, and entertainment over the liberation, over the serious issues in our community? This is why, one of the main reasons we can be treated how we are treated, and people know all they have to do is throw us a football game, throw us a basketball game, and our fight goes away. And this isn't an opinion. This is a fact. The NBA boycott of 2020, the kneeling of Colin Kaepernick in 2016, the media lynching of Kyrie Irving has shown proof to exactly what I'm saying. So before we get into this, I want to lay the foundation. I don't want you all to think like me. I just want you to think. I want you to critically think about the insanity that we keep repeating over and over again. So we have to go back in history to look at our mistakes. We have to go back to where this all started to acknowledge that we are practicing insanity. So where do you start, coach? Well, let's go back to the 1940s. For those of you who might know, and for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. I know that some of you have been taught in school and college, even in Hollywood, that Jackie Robinson was integrated into Major League Baseball, the MLB, because people had a change of heart, because people wanted our sports to be integrated all of a sudden, because they felt bad about what was happening. Family, I'm here to tell you today that that was a lie. I'm here to tell you the truth about what really happened to black men and black women around that time. During World War II, because this is where it started, the black GIs started sending money back to the States. So the black women who were domestic workers were now taking their money, and they were no longer working in the houses of white women. This is a fact. This is not something that I'm making up. Matter of fact, this is from an article from that day. White women complained to federal officials and the War Manpower Commission that their former maids were refusing to return to their jobs. In some cases, these complaints led to pressure on black women to go back to domestic work or risk being classified as unpatriotic. That is a fact, family. And I know that might suck, but that really happened. Black men who were drafted to go fight in World War II, even though they were being treated like crap in the country at the time, were told to send money back to their wives. So for the first time, the wives didn't have to go work for them. So you might say, well, coach, what does this have to do with the sports? Well, there was something else going on at the same time. And if you all just follow history, you will see that every time there's a changing of the guard, every time there are people who want to disrupt the unity of any community, there are actions that follow. So at the same time, we had an organization called the Negro Leagues, the Negro Baseball League. This was the highest earning black organization during that time. They started in the 1920s and went all the way to the end of the 1940s. Before 1947, the Negro League Baseball League was earning $2 million a year. Back in the 1940s, that was a lot of money. So the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers saw, and he admitted this himself, that we need to integrate this thing, because financially, if they keep going the route they're going, putting on more exciting games. See, you all have to understand, when the Black Negro Leagues was going on, it wasn't just black people going to the games. White people were going to the games as well. Now imagine, you have segregated games. You got your black baseball league, you got your white baseball league. But you take Mr. John. Mr. John's a white man. And they ask Mr. John, they say, hey, Mr. John, who you going to go watch this weekend? Mr. John says, hey, I'm going to the Negro League baseball game. It's more exciting. There's a part of American history that actually ties us closer together than people want to admit, but we are not taught it in school. So we're going to have a little history lesson now. During the Major League Baseball era, when they first began, they had to compete against the Negro baseball leagues. The Negro Baseball League games were more exciting. So even white Americans rather go to those games than the Major League Baseball games. Now I need you all to follow me. Don't get in your emotions. Don't get in your feelings. Just listen. The owners of some of these MLB teams said, we need to get some black guys on our teams. And I want to show you all that everything I'm about to tell you, they did with the Negro Baseball League, they did with the NFL and the NBA as well. They all integrated between 1947 and 1950. All of these things are going to come back full circle. You all just have to pay attention to what I'm saying. Now, some of the white elites were upset that their own white brothers and sisters were going to the Negro League games. It got to the point where not only were they going to the Negro baseball games, they were also going to the Negro Football League games. So I want to go over a few numbers for you. The Negro Football League had the Chicago Comets, the Brown Bombers, and the Harris Brown Trojans. And they operated from 1930 to 1946. Then 1946, football integrates. Now, for those of you that just coming in, we are going step by step how we got from the integration of these sports till today and why we are practicing insanity. My brother Shelton, LDBC or nothing reloaded, is in the house. Salute, brother. I'm not sure what happened on YouTube. My TikTok is fine. I'm seeing people come in, they're joining. I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube. 2 of the lives ended. I had to restart. I think I got shadow banned again. But we just had to start cooking, fam, because my TikTok is fine and people are here. But for those of you that are just coming in, this is where we started at. We're in the middle of World War II. Black women are getting money sent back from the black GIs. They no longer have to be maids and cooks for white women. The white women get upset. They go to a commission called the War Manpower Commission, and they complain about these black women not coming to work. At the same time, the Black Negro baseball leagues are making $2 million a year now, which is a lot of money in the 1940s. Some of the elites in baseball, football, and basketball realize that if we keep allowing this to happen and we stay separate, we are going to be in trouble, because we're going to have to compete with these guys who are putting on better events. Now, for those of you that don't know that I love boxing, boxing is the only sport where as soon as a brother got in, they could not control what was happening, which is why after Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, left, we did not have another one for almost 30 years in Joe Louis, who defeated the German Max Schmeling in front of the Nazi Party. All of these things tie together, but I'm going to paint it for you very easily. Now, some of you might say, well, coach, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? And what does that prove? I want to read you all some numbers. The annual revenue of the NFL this year is $21 billion. The NBA's annual revenue is $12 billion. And the MLB, Major League Baseball, is even higher than the National Football Leagues. Now, family, let me ask you all a question. If that money remained in your own communities, do you all think we will be better off? Because right now, what they're telling you is you don't need ownership in these leagues. What we're going to do is we're going to put you in Pee-wee football, put you in Pee-wee baseball, put you in all these little leagues, get you ready in middle school, get you ready through high school, then send you to a PWI because the HBCU probably cannot get you to where you need to be a real contender to make it to the National Football League. So before the NIL, ask yourselves a question. Remember, I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to think for yourself. How much money have black bodies made PWIs through the sports program? It's in the billions. And how many of those kids actually went to the NFL? Do you all know the percentage of black athletes that actually make it to the NFL, that actually make it to the NBA? And then when they make it, they're told what they better not say. But we put more energy talking to the brothers, talking to my brothers. We put more energy. And I know y'all don't like this. This is tough love, because you're going to have to think about this after I say it. When our women can come up missing at the rate that they're coming up missing, when our women can be assaulted on the rate they're being assaulted, when our kids can be snatched off of these streets all over America the way they're being snatched, and we still get up and make sure we support these organizations that show you they don't give a damn about you, how can our women and children look to us with reverence and respect? Keep it real with yourself. Do you think they feel protected? I know y'all don't like that. So let's go deeper, because some of you are going to say, oh, it's not that serious, coach. All right, let's go deeper. Let's go over some of the insanity that we've practiced in just the last few years. I want to show you what happens when you make a deal with a habitual line stepper that they have never kept their word. 2016, Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Who remembers that? And a few other players joined him. And it looked like for the first time in a long time in the National Football League, black folks were going to stand together behind these tragic events that were happening. We were just in protest. First Amendment. And see, brothers come into the chat on YouTube and they leave because they don't want to hear this. Because they know that they idolize these sports more than their own people. You shouldn't idolize anyone, but they put these sports over the liberation of our own people. And I know y'all don't like that, but let's get into it. 2019 comes along. And what happens in 2019? Colin Kaepernick, he settles, right? And they're promised social change in the sport of football. They're promised all of these commitments to keep the players playing, and it looks like we got to win. Not only that, we love the fact that Jay-Z was made the head of the halftime show because we love symbolism. We love symbolism. Give us some food and a party on the White House lawn and we are satisfied, instead of asking for real change. Like we don't know how to leverage power. And then when Shadur Sanders is put on this media lynching post, we act like, well, where did this come from? This came from the same people you all should have kept your foot on their neck in 2016. But you give us a dance, you give us a little bit of music, give us some free food, smile in our face, say some good words. Hey, man, you can come back to the cookout. When honestly, all of our cookout passes should be universally revoked. Nobody should be giving out any cookout passes anymore because we got too much drama going on in the house. When your friends used to come over or try to come over and you had some drama going on, what would your mother or father say? No, we got too much going on right now. Your little friend can't come over right now. That's what the black community has going on. Salute to the village brother in the house. And I know some brothers ain't gonna like this because football is almost like a religion to them. But that is why we keep going through what we're going through. God said, put no idol above or beside me. We make sure all of these football programs get funded. We make sure all of these basketball programs get funded. But Junebug and Ray Ray in the 9th grade is reading at a 3rd grade level. 13-year-old girls are coming up pregnant and nobody's being checked. Big brother programs, mentoring programs, all of these independent organizations that actually go out in the street to help our youth, they are begging for money. But we bet it all on investing in basketball and football and in these sports. Now, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with putting your child in sports for them to learn integrity, morals, build their character. But that ain't got nothing to do with what we're doing. When those brothers jumped on Cam Newton last year, you saw this ain't got nothing to do with building their character. And I know some brothers ain't gonna like that either. Football is one of the only sports. I ain't even gonna go there. But some of y'all know what I was about to say, because I'm already shadow banned. But you all knew what I was about to say. I'm gonna say it. Football is one of the only sports a white man can come out there and talk to you just like you still on a plantation, and you'll say it's for the sport. It's tough love. All right. Cool. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to give y'all that. Salute Enoch Bird. Salute Don Vine in the house. He said, salute, brother. Long time listener, sub to you through listening to Drew and 78. Quick question. How do you feel about NBA player Jaylen Brown starting Black Wall Street in Oakland? This is how I feel about it, family. Anyone who starts another Black Wall Street, if you are not prepared to fund the protection of that area, don't do it. Let me say it again. If you are not prepared to fund a Black Wall Street, do not do it. Our people keep making the same mistake. As soon as they get comfortable, they forget about the security aspect of why we got here in the first place. We're making this because the last one got burnt down by people who were jealous and bitter. So we need to prepare to protect it. Now let me show y'all this. Let's go to the NBA. Now, I wrote this in my notes. That's right. Jacob Blake. 2020. Who remembers this, y'all? The NBA went into a boycott after the unaliving of Jacob Blake. And this was one of the first times the commission, players, and managers, agents all had to sit down and have a call. And in this call, they said we need some straightening. We need promises made because we don't like the disrespect that's going on. And this is right before the George Floyd thing even popped off. Now watch this. LeBron James and some others came and said, you know what? We're going to keep playing because it's in our better interest to keep playing as long as they promise us social reforms. Now, let me tell you all what was promised. They promised them that they're going to do a $300 million initiative in black communities, and they're going to give power to players for social change. Now, that was 2020. Now, watch this, family. November 2022, Kyrie Irving is dragged through the media. Who remembers that? So 2020, the NBA promises these social changes and power to players to speak their mind for their communities. Kyrie Irving posts a book and is told he has to apologize for posting it. Not only do they force that brother to apologize again, he had to apologize 3 times, and the brothers on ESPN dragged him. And I will never forget that. Shaq, Barkley, they dragged that brother when he was already down. See, people like to forget what took place and just move on when it got something to do with us. But when anybody else feels disrespected, No, we're not going to move on until we deal with this. So when all of those brothers surrounded the stadium, who remembers that? It was getting real. But see, this is what happens. You all get promised symbolism and you fall for it because you just want to get back to playing the game. This is the same crap we deal with when brothers come in here talking about, hey man, let's just take the tribalism out of boxing. Dude, what are you talking about? Ain't nobody else taking it out. So what are you talking about? Don Vaughn said, facts, brother, because what is missing in our community as a whole is financial literacy. Financial literacy. So let's rewind. Let's go back for a second. I was watching an old interview. It was a younger brother getting into it with an older brother. And they're having a similar conversation like we're having. Right? And in this conversation, the younger brother is telling him, hey man, we don't need anybody else. We need to build ourselves up first before worrying about doing something else. The old head is telling him we need to go ahead and integrate, sell our teams, because it's going to bring us money and more opportunity. Well, family, we're in 2025 and we just watched one of the worst collusions in the National Football League to make an example out of a brother for no reason other than they hate his father. Other than we're going to teach this ninja a lesson. Enoch Bird said, yup, all those Hebrew Israelites supported him, but the news did not cover that. Those brothers surrounded the stadium. I believe it was about 5,000 that came to the city to let that brother know that you are not alone. Now, that energy should have been enough for people to say, you know what? Damn this game. Damn this game. If they're going to treat us like this, we don't need to play. God did not make us to just be entertaining people. But as long as they can treat us like that and we treat each other like crap, but then we make sure we're at the game Sunday. We make sure we're sitting in front of the TV watching the games through the week. But we don't put that energy into each other. What are the consequences of that? That's what you got to ask yourself. What are the consequences? You got real brothers running through the streets, dealing with the crap that they're dealing with, and you all are sitting up here. Y'all are sitting up here putting a damn game before us handling the business. That's the problem. I could go out here and do something real stupid right now, but I got a kid to take care of. I got a punk ass neighbor who I should have been laid out on the ground. But my people cannot rise above their condition until we realize that every single one of us got to be free. Every single one of us cannot move off of emotion. You have to check yourself. So you have to put that energy back into this right here. Back into your community, back into your family. Brother Don Vaughn said, brother, have you heard of a book called $40 Million Slave? Yes, I have. It's a great book. And let me say this to the sisters, or even to the brothers who have daughters. we have to sit down and start having these conversations. I can't be the only one. The brothers in the chats can't be the only one. Because y'all see me, I've been shadow banned 3 times and I just started the channel. But I'm going to keep speaking the truth. You might say, well, Coach, why do we need to have, a conversation? Listen to me. If a brother is not prepared to protect you, if a brother has that Sambo germ in his spine, he shouldn't be with you, sister. And brothers, when a man comes to try to court your daughter, you need to sit down and have a conversation with him and ask him some tough questions. Well, brother, how do you feel about black folk? Who's your favorite athlete? What's your favorite moment in history? What's the last book you read? What is your plans for my daughter? Because we have to stop the bloodline of these Sambos. We have to stop those who want to continue to pass down the mantle of their cowardice to the next generation. This ain't about nobody liking you. A man ain't got to like you, but he need to respect you. That's what it's about. And if that man disrespects you, he needs to know it's going to be consequences. He shouldn't be walking around here feeling like he can disrespect you or your children or your wife. See, people can do all the microaggressions they want to do around me, but they know they better not threaten to put their hands or cause any type of harm to me, my children, or my lady, or any other children that I see. Say what you want to say from a distance, but the closer you get, you will have a problem, because that's what men do. This ain't about, oh, do you like me or not? You ain't got to like me, and I ain't got to like you. But every single time something happens and we take symbolism over real change, that's a no-go, family. And there is a God that sees it. There is a God that sees this cowardice and spinelessness. And there are going to be consequences for it. Plain and simple. You're going to see it. And when you see it, you're going to remember these words. This is what Coach was talking about. You don't deserve to be in the womb of a woman you're not prepared to take care of, to defend, and damn sure have her bear children that you're not ready to protect and lead and give proper instruction to on how to move into this world. Damn that game. Give a damn about that game. You could turn that junk off and I wouldn't lose no sleep. Because guess what? I know that after all the hooping and hollering and the money is spent, I know that they're still calling you in them boardrooms. Give a damn about that game. We had our own game and gave it up. And the only reason why they integrated the game was to stop the rise of your own leagues. Give no damn about that game. That's why I rock with fighters in the sport of boxing, holding it down and representing. That's why. That's why I rock with Terrence Crawford. That's why I rock with Devin Haney. Unapologetically trying to be great. And they say, oh, Coach, hey, man, you missing out. A brother told me a few months ago when I told him, I don't support it anymore. I don't watch the game of football anymore. And I haven't watched it since Colin. Me watching Shutup was the first time in a long time. He said, man, you missing out on a lot of entertainment. Damn that entertainment. I didn't like the way that went down. And that's the problem. And it ain't just us at this point. They playing the American people off of this. Think about it. How come none of these disasters and all this stuff that would be newsworthy don't happen around the Super Bowl? Let me ask that again. How come these newsworthy, crazy incidents don't happen near the Super Bowl? A week before the Super Bowl, leading up to the Super Bowl, the news waves is clear. They talking about the Super Bowl. Y'all think about that. But to my people who are called by my name, some of y'all know the rest. Some of y'all know the worst. I come not to bring peace, but a sword. This is a day. I come to put the mother against the daughter, the father against the son, the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law. We're not all going to be together. We are not all going to be together. All of these guys coming around, especially in the sport of boxing, talking about Jesus this and Jesus that. Man, read the word. Really read it. Because this weak teaching that you have, you need to go back and read that book some more. They talk about, oh, well, God didn't hate nobody. God speaks about what he hates in that word, in both books. Whether you're reading the Torah, the Quran, or the gospel. Whether you're reading the 66 books or you're reading the books in the Ethiopian Bible, they all speak about things that God hates. There's a conversation that Jesus is having in the book between him and a group of hypocrites. But I'm not going to turn this into that right now. I just want my people to wake up. I don't give a damn about these games versus the respect and liberation of our own people. Now, some might say, well, coach, what's the solution? I'm glad you asked. I've already realized that to some of the men who are 40 and up, 45 and up, a lot of them are stuck in their ways. That's not the generation that's going to change this. The generation that's coming up right now, you all are going to have to be the ones to change this, that are not stuck in hard-hearted, stiff-necked people. Can't tell them shit. All of our sisters who are preparing to put our boys in pee-wee football, baseball, all of that good stuff, make sure that you are putting the knowledge into their minds so they don't think that that's their only way out. So they don't think in their mind, man, this gotta work or I'm going to the streets. Because God put something in your mind that's greater than all of that. Family, I appreciate every single one of you that came and rocked with me. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It seems that every time I'm about to cook, every time I'm about to go live, something goes wrong. I know for a fact I've been shadow banned twice. I thought it was over with. But I'm going to keep at it. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep at it. Maybe I got shadow banned again because of the music I was playing the other day. Patrice X warned me about that. But it is what it is. Shout out to my brother Enoch Bird, the Village Brother. Salute to Don Vaughn, Queen Tay Tay, Sheldon, LDBC in the house. Salute to all of y'all family. Appreciate you all supporting me. I'm going to get on out of here though. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. Peace.